In this video, I'm going to teach you some really useful techniques to help you navigate around a Microsoft Word document. This is going to be really handy if you find yourself working with large documents and spending a lot of time scrolling down through the different pages or clicking down trying to find different sections so you can add text and do different things. This is going to save you a lot of time. So to begin with, the easiest way I find to navigate around a Word document is using the shortcut keys on the keyboard. For example, if you hold down the Control key on your keyboard and press End, you'll jump right to the last page of your document. Now I can see this down in the bottom left corner here. I'm currently on page 10 of 10. Similarly, if I hold down the Control key and press Home, I jump right back up to the top of my document. If I hold down the Control key and press the the page down button, I jump down one page at a time. And similarly, hold down Control, press Page Up, jump up one page at a time. That's a little bit different from just pressing Page Down on its own, where you have a lot of white space that you have to scroll down. And again, Control Home, right back up to the top of your document. If you don't like that method, another way you can do this is in the bottom right corner where you have these two little up and down arrows. You notice if you hover over these, they actually tell you the shortcut key they relate to. So click the down arrow, jump down one page at a time. Click the up arrow, jump up one page. You can even get smarter than that. This little circle in between, if you click that, you can choose a different method to search through your document. So you can do things like going to a particular place, finding a particular term. We're going to come back to that. Browsing by changes that have been made to your document if they've been reviewed. Browsing by heading. So this is really handy because I've used heading styles in my document, heading 1, heading 2. If I use this down arrow now, and you notice it's gone a little bit blue to show it's not navigating by page, this is now jumping me down to the next heading, so it's going to all of the different heading 2 styles. So it's a very easy way of jumping between different sections. I can also navigate by pictures, so if I just wanted to review the pictures in my document, or by table. I can look by fields, which is where you've got automatically updating information like a table of contents, by endnotes and footnotes, which are references, comments, which are people putting comments about your document like little virtual post-its, and section. Section is also very handy if you've used section breaks. You can jump down different sections that way. And finally, I can reset that to browse by page, which is the method I was using to begin with. Now coming back to the Go To and the Find and Replace options, because these are very handy as well. Up in the Editing panel of the Home tab in the ribbon, you have this option here that says Find, and you have one that says Replace. If you click the drop down arrow next to Find, you also have Go To. Now these are all very useful features. Find you can also select by using Control F on the shortcut on the keyboard, and what this does is it lets you search for a particular word or phrase within your document. So for example, if I know I've got something in this document about apple, so I can type apple, go Find Next, and it'll jump me quickly down to apple bread. Let's see if I've got any more of those in this document. Here's the word apple again. What I might find really useful is to highlight these terms so I can quickly skim down and see everywhere where I've said apple. I could get even more specific. I could say I want to match the case, so I'm specifically looking for apple all in lowercase. So that would skip something like this. I'm going to clear that highlighting because that's just a little bit confusing. And then when I get to the end of my document, it'll say, nope, no more apple. Do you want to start again from the beginning? And it would jump back down. So that's Find. I'll mention too, if you expand this, you can also search for apple with a specific format, which is pretty handy as well. Then you've got Replace. So let's say I made a mistake. This wasn't actually about apples. This was about pears. So instead of apple, I want to put pear. I can either go Find Next, which will find the next instance of apple, starting from the top, and then go Replace. Nope, that's just replace that one. Or I can click Replace All. All instances of the word apple throughout my document get replaced with the word pear. Actually, I don't want that, so I'm going to go and change it back again. So pear, apple, replace all. Do I want to keep searching? 3 replacements made in all. Now you might notice I'm getting a lot of funny messages when I'm doing this, so generally if you're going to do something like this, easier to Control Home to the top of your document and then make these changes. So that was Control F to open up Find, You have your replace tab here. I believe it's Control R, Control G, Control H to jump straight to replace, and then you've got Go To, which is Control G. Go To is similar to the little function in the bottom right corner, so you can select something like a specific page. You can go, I want to go to page 5. Hit enter. Here I am at the beginning of page 5. I can jump by sections, I can jump by particular comments in my document, I can jump by tables, lots of different methods here that you can use. Heading again, so I could say I know it's about the 3rd section of my document, so I want to go to the 3rd heading. How about that back at Applebread? So Go To is a very handy function. You can also access that option if you come down to page in the bottom left corner. See here, you can see what page you're on. If you click on that, that opens up the Go To tab as well. So just a couple more advanced techniques that I want to talk about to do with find and replace. When you're talking about things that you're finding and replacing, say I want to find cake and replace it with biscuit. I'm just going to find the next instant of this. This is a really good example because look at this word cake. This is actually the beginning of a word. We've got a word that has an S at the end, so it's a plural. It has an uppercase C. See what happens when I go replace. I might just have to go back and find that again so you can see it. Notice that it kept the S at the end of the word, and it's put an uppercase B for me, even though what I put was a lowercase b, which is really handy. So just bear that in mind if you have sort of words that end in plurals and they're spelt in this way, not with sort of an ES at the end or something funny, you can replace them and not have any difficulties. If you didn't want to do that for some reason, what you could do is you could say biscuit space, replace it with cake space, and that wouldn't find any words like this with the S at the end. You'd just be replacing words that were biscuit and full. Hopefully that makes sense. The last thing, and this is really, really advanced, this is the really tricky thing I'll show you for the day. If you expand this to say more, I'll just go back to find to show you how this works and select special. You can search for specific sort of formatting marks within your document. The paragraph mark is the one I use the most. A paragraph mark is pretty much when you're in your document and you press enter, you're creating a paragraph mark. And you can see this if you come to the paragraph section and click this little button here. So you see this and this, these are paragraph marks. You can add other sorts of formatting to your document, like if I go shift enter, that's sort of a non-breaking line break. And if I went control enter, what that does is a page break. These are all very handy shortcuts to know. So these are all different kinds of paragraph marks. When I'm finding certain things, I can look for things like paragraph marks, and that will jump me from one paragraph mark to the next. But why on earth would you want to do that? The reason you might want to do that is because sometimes you'll have documents, say that someone else has done, and they'll have big gaps between the text. So I might have my first paragraph here, my second paragraph here, and I might have something like this in between. And that might be several times through my document that I've got the same thing. So imagine I have text like this going through 20 pages worth of document. I can say I want to find and replace, so that was a control H I did, and I want to find everywhere where there's two paragraph marks, one after the other with no text in between, and just replace it with one paragraph mark. And if I click replace all, notice how my text jumped up and it's a little bit closer together now. I do it again. Now I've just got one paragraph mark between everything. Once more, and now all of my text is right after one paragraph after the other. So very, very handy ways of doing things. You can also do this if you've copied text off the internet. A lot of the time they'll be using the manual line break. So the manual line break is the one that looks like this. Very, very common if you cut and paste from the internet. And similarly, I can go looking for anywhere where I find that manual line break and replace it with a paragraph mark. There's now paragraph marks in my document. Where that becomes important is if you've got paragraph formatting, like spaces that are automatically applied to each paragraph. They don't happen if you have text that has that manual line break. So you notice there's no gap between these lines.